right, you have your ball. All we're gonna do for now is just put it between your thighs for safekeeping. You don't even have to squeeze on it. We're gonna get that movement through that chest, through that thoracic area, your rib cage, pulling those abs in as you bend your knees to get a little bit more of a cat-cow kind of movement. Sweeping, scooping, lifting, opening, couple more here. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to your thighs, roll through a cat. Inhale through a cow, stick that tailbone out, and 2 more times, and bring that down. Then we're going to take that ball and we're going to put it between our calves, and now we are going to walk our feet in, so we're squeezing that ball, and you are doing your best to get your feet directly underneath your knees, which are underneath your hips. Chest is open, spine is elongated, ribs are down. I'm only going to do this a quick demo. You're going to raise your heels, pause for a moment, gently down. Up on your tippy toes, pause, and down. So you're just going to keep that going, right? Up, pause, and down. You're doing both legs with that ball squeezed between. Keep that going for me. Just a few more. And then you're going to come up and you're just going to hold with those heels off the ground for 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're going to bring that ball in front of your right quad, and your left hamstring is going to grab it. You're going to bend that right knee, stretch those left toes forward, and drag them back. So this is all about that right quad and that right glute. Imagine you're sitting back into a little imaginary chair that only has space for your right glute. And then we'll step to the side. So you're going to bring that ball there. You're going to reach to the side, but the challenge on this one is lift the foot off the ground, flex the foot, squeeze in, get those inner thighs acting. Reach, lift, squeeze in. Reach, lift, squeeze in. Arms if you want. However they end up being. Just a few more here. You should really feel those inner thighs. And then we're going to step so that your right foot comes forward, left leg goes back, and the ball is in front of the left leg and behind the right one, abs in. This is the one you want to be careful not to hinge forward as you reach back. Again, you're sitting in that imaginary chair. Feel that right glute. You can put a little weight on that left leg. I normally have you straighten it, but if you need to hold onto the ball, you can bend it and tap into it. Not too much weight on that back toe if possible. As always, when your leg goes back, you want to create intensity. Your arms go up, 1 arm, 2 arms, halfway up, whatever you'd like. 2 more. And on this last one, we'll hold it back for just a moment. See if you can lift your back toe, put all your weight on that right leg, and lift up. All right, we're going to move on to the other side since we're prepped for it, and then we'll stretch in a moment. So the ball is in front of that left leg, behind the right hamstring, and we do that same thing. We're going to bend and reach forward. Bend and reach forward. We didn't do arms on the other side. You are certainly welcome to add them if you want. And then right beside you, you're going to sit into that and then lift up, flex through the heels, squeeze as hard as you can, reach, flex, squeeze, good. And again, you can keep your hands here. You can add arms if you want. And then we'll just step back with that right foot, left leg in front. And this again, we're gonna reach back, bending into that left leg, sitting on that imaginary half of a chair. Adding arms if you want, don't have to. Just two more. And this one we sit back, try and lift that back leg off the ground and then come up. Woo! All right, now we'll give those hips and legs and glutes a little love. So we're gonna start by crossing that right ankle over the left. Push the hips to the right, arms go to the left. And then widen your stance a bit. You're just hanging onto that ball. If it's annoying you, you can put it down. Hands on your thighs, roll cat. Inhale, cow, really stick that tailbone out, and then see if you can straighten your right leg to get a little hamstring love. Arm comes up. You're gonna keep the legs as they are, but just even them up. So my right leg's in front. Left knee is gonna bend, and I'm gonna tuck that left hip under, hoping to get a nice quad and maybe hip flexor stretch. And then I'll sit back with the right leg, left leg up and over. Hips go to the left, arms to the right. And give yourself a little pivot, bend those knees, hands on your thighs, cat and cow. And then you're gonna see if you could straighten that leg, if that's okay with you. Arm comes up, lift yourself up, keep that left leg in front, turn around, tuck your hip under and bend into your right knee. And then stand it up. We will come on down to a lying down position with our ball, please. Knees are bent, and that ball is going to go right between your thighs. Bring your big toes as close together as possible, maybe even touching so you're a little bit pigeon-toed. And then we're going to take our fingertips and put them on our abs, low abs. Deep breath in. On the exhale, squeeze the ball, hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1, release. Inhale, exhale, squeeze for 4, 3, 2, and 1, release. I want you to start noticing when you squeeze the ball, is there something going on, a change in your abs? So squeeze the ball for just 2 this time and release. Squeeze and hold for 2 and release. And this time we're going to pulse in, 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 in. I hope that you're noticing when you activate those inner thighs, you get a little activation of those low abs. 3, 2, 1, release. Soles of the feet together, arms can reach overhead, holding onto the ball. Just taking a moment here, letting those inner thighs open up. And then we're going to start with a little challenge this morning, putting that ball either on your ribs or your low abs, and then sinking so that that ball stays in place. Arms out in a T position as you're ready, legs lift tabletop. So this is our toe touch. One leg at a time moves away and comes gently back up. Inhale as that leg moves away. Exhale back up. If you want, it can be a heel flex instead of a toe touch. If you want, it can be both legs. That ball, hopefully, is giving you that feedback so it's not rolling off of you. And of course, you can widen into a little froggy position for, again, a wider lever. And final option would be that long lever, straight legs, either single leg or double leg. Ball staying in place, abs in, ribs nice and flat, low back maintaining that same distance from the ground. And then we're going to bend our knees, feet on the ground. We're going to do 2 more versions of that toe touch exercise, but we're going to do those in a second. So I'll be back to that. Feet together, ball on your thighs, deep breath in, exhale, roll the ball up to the tips of your knees, take that ball overhead, give it a squeeze, and exhale, come down, ab prep exercise. So I'm going to roll it up, I'm going to inhale, reach and squeeze, and exhale, bring it down. If it's a bad idea for my head, neck, and shoulders to lift, I'm gonna roll the ball up, lift it overhead. As I squeeze, I really engage those abs and ribs so they don't pop up, and exhale down. Deep breath in, exhale, lift, inhale, reach and squeeze. Beautiful. We have 4 more like that. And last one, we're gonna leave that up there. We're gonna stack our knees tabletop, and we're gonna add extension of the legs with extension of the arms. Then we're just gonna tap the ball to the knees. Inhale, stretch, reach. I'm gonna give it a squeeze and tap again. Head, neck, and shoulders can be up if you want, but they're not gonna come up and down. They're either up or they're down. If you wanna add on, keep the knees in tabletop and lift yourself up to hand off the ball. And then keep those knees in tabletop, don't bring them in, and hand off. So either version, the final version is a pretty big challenge. It's like a teaser. I'm gonna try to come up, roll the ball to my ankles, knees, and then extend. So you choose whichever one is working for you today. You're just gonna do 3 more. Try not to swing your body if you're doing that last option. And then, whoops. Then we're gonna go back to our toe touch. This time, we're gonna take that ball between our thighs, lift those legs in that kind of froggy position, but knees are over your hips, not out and not in. Deep breath in, sink those ribs. On the exhale, as you lower, squeeze the ball as hard as you can. Lots of control here. Inhale, lift, release the squeeze. Deep breath in, exhale, lower, squeeze that ball. Inhale, lift, release the squeeze. Keep that going. Now, as you continue, you could straighten your legs. You could even move the ball lower down the legs if you want. Give it that squeeze. That's a little extra challenge because you'll have a little less stability if it's down closer to your calves and ankles, but you're going to choose which one works best for you. Last one, bring those feet down. All right, we're going to bring the ball behind the right thigh this time. Actually, no, I think you guys are good enough, or not good enough, but don't have this back issue. So tabletop, ball in the front of that right thigh, left leg up in the air. Exhale, press with your hands, press equally with your hip flexor. Neither one moves the other and reach to the left leg. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch it up. Press against the left thigh as the right toes reach. Left knee stays tabletop. Inhale, switch it up. Exhale, press and reach. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, switch. Exhale, reach. Keep that going for me, please. Good. Remember, as you bend that knee, it's just a tabletop, not sneaking in unless you need to protect that low back a bit. All right, and then come on back, take a quick break. Third version of toe touch, we're gonna lift the hips, and then we're gonna slide the ball underneath the tailbone. You don't want it way up here under your low back, but down towards your tailbone and sacrum so that when you lift up, you are not arched, right? Like that. You can feel you're in a pelvic tilt. And then here's the first challenge. Sorry, I have mine in a bad position here. The first challenge is to lift your, well, that's worse. Lift your arms off the ground, right? And then if that's enough, you just stay there and letting all those little muscles figure out what they need to do here to stabilize. A lot of stability here. You should feel those abs. If you want more challenge, put your hands down and try that single leg toe touch, ribs in, or double leg. You can do double leg wide legs. You can go to straight legs. Now, if you're feeling crazy, you could lift your arms up and try your leg lower or toe touch, whichever one you're doing. But you don't want, it's okay for your body to be figuring out, but you don't want it to be hurt, you don't want to hurt yourself, you're twisting so much. And then we'll reach up and grab that ball, and we're going to stretch out long. Point those toes, feel a nice stretch through the front side of your body, and then flex through the heels, tuck, and press that low back into the ground. Feel that back side of the body get a little stretch. All right, so then we are going to go into a bridge with the ball. And again, we're going to have a couple options here. So first option, I'm going to put that ball between my knees, hands by your sides, lift into your bridge. Think about lifting a little bit higher, stretching through the knees, and then hover the hands. You can stay there. You can give yourself a little lift, or you could put your hands down and see if you can straighten out the right leg and either squeeze in or give a little lift, or squeeze in and lift, totally up to you. And if you're choosing to do the single leg, you're going to switch legs, because we have 3 versions of this one. And relax. That was version 1. We'll go ahead and do version 2, and then we'll come back to version 3 in a minute. This time, both feet are on the ball, heels are behind it, toes are kind of up and over it. Your knees are really going to want to gap open, so you're going to do your best to keep those squeezed together, and you lift up. And you see how that is for you. If that's going to be good enough, maybe you stay there and give a little lift. If you want a little hamstring action, keep those hips lifted, but roll the ball forward back. You could do a combination lift, roll, right? Or final option, hands hover, and you could, again, just hang out here, let that body figure out its stability, or you could lift lower or roll in, out. You decide what you want to do. Again, a little bit of movement is awesome, but big movement where you're twisting too much in your spine might not be so good. And relax. Whoa, your hamstrings probably felt that. So stretch that left leg out on the ground. Bring that ball behind the right hamstring, hug it in. Oh, feel a nice stretch here. Flex through that right heel. Keep pulling that right knee down, right heel up. And then we'll stretch that right leg out. Left leg comes in. Ball behind. Hug it in. Flex, press. Beautiful. Bring it down. All right, before we do that last bridge, we're just going to pop up and bring that ball behind our shoulder blades. We're going to go back to a bent knee position. Fingertips to the edges of your skull, and do your best to widen those elbows. So this is our negative to neutral. Neutral means I'm going to tuck my chin, bring my head in line with my spine, and this is where I'm going to finish the exercise. I'm not looking down at my legs. I'm trying to look at the ceiling, keeping the elbows wide, not pulling on the neck. I'm going to keep the chin in line and allow my head to drop over, and then I'm going to exhale, press the ribs into the ball to lift. Inhale, up and over. Exhale to close the ribs and come back to neutral. If you want more challenge, first option is to crisscross your hands behind your head. Give yourself a little more support this way that don't pull on the head, but you have a little extra weight overhead. Next option would be to straighten the arms, crisscross at the wrist. Make sure that you are cradling your head in between your biceps. Next option adds a little balance component. When I come up, I'm going to lift a knee. Doesn't mean you have to lift any higher. And final option starts with that balance element, both knees pulled in, and woo, that might be enough. Or lower, and when you lift, you can extend a leg. So you have lots of options. We're just going to do 4 more of whatever you've chosen to do, please. Remember, keep those elbows wide. When you finish that 4th one, you're going to give yourself a nice stretch. If you're comfortable, you can extend those arms out, palms up. If that's uncomfortable for your neck, give yourself some support but try and get the elbows onto the ground, tuck the chin. And if all of that doesn't create love for you, let your head rest on the ball if that's okay, palms open, or no ball at all, and just palms open, just a quick little break. Then we're gonna go back to that bridge pose we did a moment ago. This time it's gonna be single leg, which means we have two more. If that's not gonna work for you, you're gonna go back to either of the previous ones. So I'm gonna put my right foot on the ball. This time I'm gonna roll the ball ahead of me so my heel can be down toward the ground, toes pointed up, 90-degree angle there, and use my left leg to help lift me up. Hover arms, you can roll in and out, you can lift lower. And then it's kind of a big jump, so arms go back down, and you lift that left knee up. Option to leave it at tabletop or extend it up. And then you can lift lower the leg, you can lift lower the hips, you can roll the ball in and out, you can do any combination of those you'd like to, or you can just hold. You can find the combination that you like best, maybe it's just two of those three options. And we'll come down, we'll stretch that left leg in a minute, or right leg in a minute. Let's roll that ball underneath the left. Heel down, toe up, abs in, neutral spine, tuck tip, find neutral, lift up. And again, hover here, roll in, out, lift up, down, or the big jump is to lift that right leg up, bent or straight, and then you make decisions, what you're gonna do. And relax. All right, once again, we're gonna bring that ball behind the right hamstring, this time over to the right. Let it drop a little to the right, hug it in, flex through that heel, feel that hamstring and inner thigh stretch both at the same time. Then let that right leg just rest for a second, and then lift it up. Ball behind the left leg, foot over to your shoulder, flex through that foot, bring it over and up. Inner thigh again, as well as hamstring. Let that foot hang out for a minute. Soles of the feet together, arms reach overhead, quick little break. And then as you exhale, pull your knees into your chest, put that ball on your ankles, not in between them, and hold it with your fingertips. Bring your forehead to your knees, exhale, rolling like a ball, inhaling, pause at the top, exhaling to roll, inhale, pause. Try and keep those toes off the ground when you come up. Last time, roll it up, hold here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to sit up on that ball for spine stretch. So sit nice and tall, bend those knees, and then let's push the ball out behind us. So instead of rolling forward and seeing that ball, you want to tuck the other way, tip that tailbone out, and then just give yourself a hinge forward. That might be enough, or you can flex through the heels and start to straighten those legs. I actually like to roll forward a little bit, so I end up with that ball giving me that wedge shape, not wedgie. I use that joke every time, sorry. And then grow tall and hinge forward. This is all about that elongation of the spine, not a drop. And then we're going to scoop right back up on that ball. Leave those legs out where they are. If their knees are bent, that's fine. For Saul, arms out into a T, you're going to pivot to the front of the room, keep that spine tall. Remember, you're on that ball, so you shouldn't be tucked under. And then reach the back arm forward and the front arm to the back, twist, reach, but try not to round, lift and rotate. Inhale back to center, to the back of the room, lift and reach, and inhale center other way. And keep that going. And last time. All right, a little bit of an extra challenge here. Big toes come together. So now we don't have that wide base of support. So now as we're sitting up on that ball, if we let go, we might find out, well, that's kind of crazy. Arms out into that T, shoulders out of your ears, grow tall, rotate to the front of the room, try and go a little deeper and a little deeper. Inhale back to center to the back. Shh, shh, shh. Seated twist. Look at your big toes, make sure they're still together to the front. Shh, shh, shh. Center to the back. Shh, shh, shh. Really elongate through the spine so you're not dropping into it. One more time each way, maybe bend the elbow to push, 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 inhale center, push, 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 woo, and relax. Come on, off that ball. Let's use it to give us a little bit of support for roll downs. So I'm gonna put that ball right back at my tailbone sacrum area, shoulders up, back and down, abs in, arms out front, exhale, give it a little hinge back, press into the ball. It should be lovely, supported here. So I might be able to open my arms into a T or a V or an I. I'm gonna make sure I lower them before I come back up, but not so far that I lose contact with the ball. Hinge it back, something with your arms on the inhale, lower them down, lift them up. You have 7 more of those, please. Whatever you want to do. When you get to that 7th one, you should be just a few away. You're going to stay back. Remember, you're not rolling over the ball and lifting your abs. You're keeping those ribs in, shoulders back. When you've done that last one, you're going to stay back, ribs down, head in line, ears over shoulders, arms out. Find something that gives you a little extra challenge, lifting, reaching, stretching, long spine, and then relax. All right. We are coming over onto our side, facing the front, elbow underneath your shoulder. We want to push this shoulder back, lift up out of it, and engage those lats. So this will be a comfortable position for our shoulder. Bend your knees, tuck your feet back, not here in front. Lift all 10 toes up in the air. Option 1, side of the thigh plank. Option 2, top leg in front, bottom leg behind. And option 3, you stack them up. And then that ball is going to go just where it supports you, and you get to rest on it for a second to correct your alignment. So my hips are forward and my chest is back. So I'm going to walk my feet back a little so my hips can come forward and my chest will open. And then we come off that ball and imagine it's a little pet. Tap it, let it know you're there, get off of it. Love it, love it, love it. Really small little movements, just enough to let it know, I'm here, I love you, but don't squish your head. Sorry, babe. 2 more. And relax. That's version 1 of side plank. If version 2 doesn't work, it's a pretty big challenge because we're going to balance. Bottom leg goes on, top leg goes in front, lots of space for the foot. And then as you're ready, straighten out those legs and come up into your side plank. As you are ready, come on down, move one over to the other side. Again, protecting this shoulder by pushing it back, pressing away, engage, create space between the ear and shoulder, engage those lats. And then option 1, you're on the side of your thigh, all 10 toes up in the air. Option 2, top leg in front, bottom leg behind. And option 3, you stack it up, rest on the ball, see what's going on. This time my chest is forward and my hips are back. So my hips are coming forward, my chest is going to open, and up we go, and give that love. You guys are going to keep going or take a break, or if you want to try the balance, join me there. Bottom leg goes on first. I'm going to create a lot of space for the arch of that top leg, and up we go. And relax. All right, we're coming over onto our abs for a little extension work. As you come down, let's lift the leg, stretch it long, toes pointed, other leg, stretch it long, toes pointed. While you're here, and your feet can be a little bit apart, keep your toenails down, but lift your kneecaps. So quads engaged, let them relax. Quads engaged, let them relax. Quads engaged, let them relax. Do that without lifting your feet. Quads lift. Arms out in front of you on the ball. Deep breath in. Exhale, press down, pull back, upper shoulder area work. Inhale at the top, exhale down. Notice you want to keep your belly button lifted. You want to keep your kneecaps lifted, but your toes are on the ground. So that lower body is grounding you. We're engaging those quads to help create some stability down there. Holding for a moment at the top. And on this last one, maybe you hold it a little longer, push into the ball, squeeze the shoulder blades back, and relax. We're going to press back into our shell stretch. I'm going to use that ball between my hips and my heels to create a little extra space for my knees, if I have any knee issues especially. And then as you come up, the ball goes into the center of the mat. I'm going to drop onto it fully onto my forearms. Hands are apart, feet close together if that's okay with you. Shoulders out of your ears. Nod yes, head in line with your spine. And then we're going to press the floor away and lift up off of that ball so that my toes and my knees and my forearms are the only thing on the ground. So this is a pre-plank. You don't want to be saggy and you don't want your booty up. Option to roll onto the fronts of your thighs, all 10 toes face the air, or option to tuck your toes and press up into your regular plank. If you're doing that, you're going to let that ball roll forward and back. If you're on the fronts of your thighs, you could press into the ball and lift, press and lift, press and lift, press and lift. Same thing. If you're in a pre-plank, it's a press and lift, press and lift. And then let's relax for a second. Bend those knees, let them windshield wiper side to side. All right, here comes the fun one. It's a Pilates plank with the ball. I'm not going to put it right down at my toes because I'm also going to have the option to add a pike to this. So I'm going to come into my whichever, well, I've got it on the ball, with my feet on the ball. So we're doing this one. You can do it on the fronts of your thighs. Deep breath in, exhale, lift into that plank. And then if you want to pike, you're going to drop your head, pull your belly button in. It's not just about lifting the hips, and roll that ball forward. Pike, plank it, hold it, and then pike it by using those abs. So it's not just like a down dog lift of the hips. There's actual ab movement going on too, ab work going on. And when you have had enough, you'll press back in your resting position, shell stretch yet again. And then as you come up, bring that ball between your thighs, which underlay cow-cat. And then we'll do a little bird dog that's going to engage those hamstrings one more time. So find neutral, hands right underneath your shoulders, shoulders broad, head in line with your spine, abs in. I'm going to take that ball behind my right leg, flex through that heel, and then lift that leg. I'm trying to get it parallel to the ground without, arching my spine. I'm going to hold here. I have the option to do a little hamstring curl. I have the option to press the heel to the sky. And finally, if I want, I could lift that left arm and simply hold, or they could both lift and lower, working those extensors. I could lift and lower and make sure I'm squeezing the ball so my hamstrings still engage, working the glute, hamstrings, and those extensors, and bring it down. All right, we will move that to the left leg. Hands right underneath you. Lift that left leg up and choose to squeeze or lift. Add the arm and hold, or everything squeezing and lifting, arm with the leg. And relax. All right, we are rolling back over onto our spine, please. And once again, we're going to take that ball behind the right hamstring. I'm going to grab hold of the calf this time, and I'm going to compress. I'm going to push the ball with my quad, or excuse me, my calf and my hamstring, and just feel maybe a little bit of a massage there. Last two, last one. Then hug that knee in and bring it over, in and over. And then maybe use your left hand to hold on and use your right hand to pull those right toes back. Press the heel to the sky and push the knee down. And then up we go through center. I'm going to roll the ball up my leg. I'm going to flex through that left heel and bring it on the ground. Sorry, I'm going to bring the ball at the hamstring. Point the toe and bend the elbows to bring that leg in. Flex through the heel and then press the hamstring against the ball, but arms against the ball at the same time. So we're not moving, and then release. And maybe you can stretch a little further. Let's try that one more time. Press, flex, press, press, and release. Ball away, maybe draw a big circle in one direction and then the other. And then leg down. Oy. Hopefully your leg feels as good as mine, nice and open, lengthened out, more space in front and behind. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So ball comes behind that left leg, and I'm going to interlace and press and keep that leg coming in, compressing. If you want some movement through that ankle, sorry, I didn't do that on the other side. And then bring it over. Right hand holds in place, left hand will pull back on those toes. And we're going to bring that leg through center. We're going to straighten out the right leg, flex through the heel, point the toes, bend your elbow, bring it in, just to where it's comfortable. And then flex through the heel, push your leg against the ball, ball against the hands, hands against the ball, ball against the leg, and then release. See if you might be able to come a little closer. Do that again, press, 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 and release. And then big circle in one direction and the other, if that's okay with you. And leg down. Woo, feels awesome. Right ankle crosses the left thigh, let it pivot open. Once again, I'm going to reach around, thread the needle, bring that ball behind that left hamstring, take a little rock side to side. Keep the ball behind the left. Bring that right knee up and over, feel a deeper stretch on that right hip and hamstring, and then cross it all the way over and reach that left knee. Bring everything closer, that should really deepen that stretch. Let it move to the left, and you have the option at this point to stay here. This should be a beautiful stretch on your right hip and hamstring, or you can put your left foot down and pivot to the left. While you're over there, uncross your legs, stack them up, and then come back with the right foot on the ground. We're going to bring that left ankle across, and we'll thread the needle with the ball again. Hugging it in, taking a little rock side to side. Pull it closer, cross that knee over, reach for the right shin if you can. Hug it in and pull it over, hug it in and pull it over. Deep stretch on that left hip. Left arm can go to the side and you can stay there, or if you want, you can rotate to the right. And then uncross, stack your knees on the right side and float up on your right side. Back through center onto your hands and knees. You can leave the ball. We're going to undulate forward, cow cat. And then we will just press up and back, down dog, pedal those heels out if that would feel good. Wide stance. Hey, no, we're not yes and shake. No, hands on your thighs, roll cat, inhale cow. Big deep breath in. And thank you.